you've got a ton of potential to really tilt your opponents, while you just do the Zemo dance. Baron Zemo kicks off the April season of Marvel Snap. We'll get to some very interesting synergies in just a bit, but first, who is Baron Zemo? In the comics, Baron Helmut Zemo was the son of Baron Heinrich Zemo, Nazi scientist and enemy of Captain America during World War II. Helmut was an engineer and strategist in his own right, and after the death of his father, blamed Captain America, of course, and swore revenge, adopting the identity Phoenix. He was defeated, fell into a boiling vat of adhesive X, and was horribly disfigured. He resurfaced years later as Baron Zemo, working with various villains like Arnim Zola and Red Skull throughout the years. At one point, after the Avengers were presumed dead after their battle with Onslaught, Baron Zemo was actually sad at the loss of his greatest foes, and thus lost his purpose in life. So what did he do? He rebranded himself as Citizen V and led his group of villains to masquerade as a new superhero team, the Thunderbolts. The goal was to gain public trust and resources until they were finally ready to strike and take over the world. But the rest of the Thunderbolts actually ended up liking being the good guys. Zemo turned on his own team and was eventually defeated by them. Like the good villain that he is, though, he never stays down for too long. At one point, he even became the leader of New Hydra. And if you're like, wait, how has he stayed alive all these years? Well, he has a genius-level intellect, just like his father, who created something called Compound X, which maintains his youth and vitality. See, why not just market Compound X to the world and become the richest man in the world instead of fighting Captain America and all the Avengers? Comics, right? He's also a master combatant, swordsman, marksman, and tactician. In Marvel Snap, Baron Zemo is a 3-energy, 5-power card with the ability, on reveal, recruit the lowest cost card from your opponent's deck to your side of this location. I think if you compare Zemo with some of the stronger Season Pass cards like Hope Summers, Ms. Marvel, Elsa Bloodstone, and Loki as they were originally released, the Baron may seem a little bit weak. And you know what? That's not necessarily a bad thing, right? Especially if you're a free-to-play player. Like, Baron Zemo feels like Black Swan or Scar level Season Pass card, you know what I mean? He'll have his moments, but I don't think you need to have him. Now watch him break the meta, because I said that. At least the Season Pass card, you can wait a month to see, right? Okay, so he essentially takes your opponent's lowest cost card and plays it out on your side. Remember that Yondu changed from a few weeks ago? That was probably done in anticipation of Baron Zemo, because with Yondu destroying the lowest cost card in your opponent's deck, you are increasing the odds of pulling a higher cost card from their deck with Zemo now, right? Now, I wonder if this is the start of like a deck milling archetype. You know, Yondu, Baron Mordo, Gladiator, making it so that your opponent might not have cards to draw in the later rounds. Okay, how about this as a playline? Yondu on turn 1, Grandmaster the Yondu on turn 2. You've milled your opponent's deck twice now. Then you Baron Zemo. Now you have a higher chance of stealing a stronger card. So add in Wong or Odin to reproc, and Baron Zemo could fit very nicely into an on-reveal heavy style deck. Oh, and you know the card that Baron Zemo recruits? That didn't start in your deck, right? That means it discounts Mockingbird. And you know what else discounts Mockingbird? White Tiger Spirit Tigers, and White Tiger is a staple of the Wong reveal style deck. So there you go, that's the first deck I'm trying with Zemo. He's also going to help out in the Zoo archetype with Mockingbird discount synergy and pulling a low cost card to the board. He's a 3 cost, so you can consider him in the Surfer archetype, maybe a replacement for Gladiator, who's a bit of a risky play now in this big boy meta. Now, he is a little bit RNG dependent though, like you gotta be careful against destroy decks. You know, you don't want to accidentally pull out like a Deathlock or a Carnage to wipe out your lane, right? Oh, and here's a not so obvious perk of Baron Zemo's ability, information. And that's great for Conquest mode. For example, if Zemo pulls out a 2-energy card, you now know that all your opponent's 1-energy cards are in his hand or on the board. That might just be invaluable information on Game 5 of Conquest, right? So yeah,